Well, if we're all here, we call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. First item we have is our minutes on page 1 from our April 15th meeting.
If there's no discussion, I'd make a motion to approve the minutes from the April 15th, 2024 Planning Board meeting.
And I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion from Bill and a second from Randy to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye. Aye, opposed, carried. And before we get into our public hearing, we'll probably go into the informational reporting section, page 15, with our building permit reports. It's just that review.
Well, Jennifer tonight either, huh?
And then knowing that the next meeting for planning would be on June 17th at 6 o'clock.
May? June.
June. And Bill, maybe you can correct me or not, are we able to start the public hearing any earlier than 6:05, or is that kind of the time where they need to be started?
I mean, I suppose we should wait. Technically, it's, I don't know if there's anything else to talk about.
Sure.
That was the notice for the 6 o'clock.
Okay, we got 2 minutes, so we can wait that out, I suppose.
Thanks, Dave. Bill, do you know, was there anybody representing Furch planning to be here tonight?
I'm not aware, no, I had no communication from them.
So it is 6:05, so we'll open up the public hearing. Those wanting to discuss the Painesville Solar Farm Plat 1, the preliminary plat. If you're here to wish to speak on that behalf, we would ask that you come up to the podium and share your remarks to the planning board for consideration. So anyone can go first, whoever would like to.
I'm just here to listen.
We're here to listen in too.
Okay.
The only question I would have is, it's hard to tell by the map exactly where it is. I don't know.
Is it all the way up in the corner behind where the city's got the fire truck?
Do you have access to the same drawing that we are looking at here? Let me share this with you.
Well, it's on here.
Oh,
Would this help you?
We got a color one.
Oh, that looks a lot better.
Yeah, it does.
Color's good.
So exactly where is it, like, what's the?
It's in the red.
Yep, in the red.
So, what's here? What's
That is, let me orient that's the industrial loop. That's, I believe, Dave Voss's area back there. You're on the back of the loop, aren't you, Dave?
Yep.
Yep, so that would be the back of the industrial loop road and the river.
So this is across the river?
Yep,
from
yep, your property, if
Way
you're,
in the back where his property is.
yep, so you'd be up here, here's the 4-lane, or excuse me, here's the 4-lane, here's the divided, Lake Avenue, so you would live down, right about down here.
And there's a Crow River.
Okay, so we're over here.
Yep, and this would, they had initially had talked about using this access that's closest to the 4-lane stop sign, but apparently that has changed slightly and they've pulled it back, and that's gonna be the new access road, and this is the area we're discussing in red.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense on how that line drawing would be confusing.
Yeah.
I struggled with it too.
This is very difficult to read, so we weren't sure, we just wanted, we had been here for the other meeting. When, I think when the gentleman was here, he was for the first time.
Is that the same guy? That was here
That I don't know.
maybe 6 months ago?
Well, it's the same landowner. I think at the initial meeting, the landowner wasn't here, but his representative was. And
Yeah.
at some subsequent meetings, the landowner has been here. It's been different people at different times, I guess, but, yeah.
So the person doing the project, Hershey is selling the land to him? Is that what,
No, he's leasing it.
or he's leasing it to his company?
Okay, at the time we were here, I don't think Berkshire was here.
No.
He was just trying to sell it, this guy was selling land here.
Yeah, I don't think so, but anyway, it's not probably really important. I should point out that the map that they're showing you in red is not really all of the plat. I mean, it's kind of confusing, but the plat actually goes further towards Lake Avenue than that part in red. That's, the part that's in red on that map is actually, well, to me, it looks like it's more than half of the area, but there's 2 solar farms proposed out there, and what's outlined in red on that map is actually the easterly solar farm, and there's another one to the west. So I don't want to confuse you, but that what you saw in red isn't really everything that's being platted. It kind of,
So how many total acres is the first one then? Third? The first plot, do you know the plat? Does it, okay. It doesn't make any difference. I just didn't know if it showed on there what they were trying to do on it.
Not real well, and when I know I'm familiar with the drawing that she has, and I struggled to make sense of it also.
Yeah, I just didn't know if it was a 60 and a 60 or how they're doing it. Because typically the solar farms only want 35 acres at a time. That's kind of their,
There's a smaller one going in there that's still going through the regulatory stuff. And then, Furchy is working on this solar garden, and they're gonna share the infrastructure. Because the poles and, Excel's gonna already put the,
transformers almost, you call it.
yeah, so, and they're gonna, be sharing them.
Yeah.
So-
The other guy that was here too, they were.
It just makes sense. It's gonna be land that is pretty rough to build on to start
Oh,
with.
yeah. It was rough, that's why it was the city dump at one time.
Oh, yeah, that's
It
right.
was, I mean,
More so to the east, but yeah.
yeah, but it was, I mean, it was the worst land there was.
sorry about that. I just wanted to make sure she understood where it was.
Hey, no, I'm glad, we don't want to mislead anybody. If I did mislead you with my map, I apologize.
No, that's fine.
And when I read through this bill, it sounds like the city's, my reading of it tells me that the city's pretty satisfied with the process and everything in place. I didn't see any major concerns spelled out by the city.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously things that need to be done, but not before a preliminary plat. I mean, I think I think that they've done what they need to do. They've got MnDOT approval, they've got the county's approval, and unless there's things that this board sees that they'd like to recommend to the council that they that they do in addition to what they've got in the plat. I mean, I think that they've followed the rules and we're, you know, in good shape that way.
Okay, thank you.
And the city engineer Chuck DeWolf will not let us stray very far, because he's gotta follow what the state wants him to do and advise us along the way.
So there's another discussion on the public hearing, then I think a motion to close the public hearing would be in order.
I'll make that motion.
I would second it, just double checking if there's any more comments or concerns that you guys would like to share. Dave?
Nothing.
I'd second that motion.
Okay, we have a motion to close the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public hearing is closed. Now we would go into the findings report, which starts on page 11.
Yeah. So we do the findings report and then we come back to the page 3 for the motion?
Yeah.
Is my understanding of the process
Correct, yeah, there'll be a formal motion at the end, going through the findings like in the past. So, let's see here. I'll start midway down the page. A preliminary plat has been prepared and licensed by a licensed land surveyor in acceptable form, and the planning board is reviewing the requirements of Chapter 30, Division 2, therefore entitled Preliminary Plat, and specifically Section 30 to 67 of the City Code of the City of Painesville, and finds that the submission comply with the requirements for documents to be submitted for approval for a preliminary plat. And whereas this is a single plat of land and preliminary plat, A complies or B does not comply, the chair votes A. Josh? Bill?
A.
Paul?
Hey,
And Randy?
A.
It is. Okay, complies with the requirements in Chapter 36. We're going to the next one. Whereas the property is subject to a conditional use permit that was issued by the City of Painesville, and that the conditional use permit requires, among other things listed there, that it would be rezoned to light industrial, heavy industrial, must be platted, granted access to the truck main crossing development site, the city emergency services that have access to where the site would be. Going down further, city administrator causes notice of the public hearing to be mailed by all owners of property located within 350 feet of the proposed subdivision. Further causes notices of the public hearing to be published in the Painesville Press at least 10 days prior to the public hearing, in accordance with the requirements of the city code of the City of Painesville, laws of the state of Minnesota. Whereas the planning board is or is not satisfied with the proposed preliminary plat to meet the design set forth in City Code Section 3067. So back to the is or not, chair votes A. Josh?
A.
Bill?
A.
Paul?
hey,
And Randy?
A.
Is satisfied, and the planning board is or is not satisfied with the proposed preliminary plat that has taken an effort to mitigate impact of the proposed subdivision on public health, safety, and welfare. Chair votes A. Josh?
A.
Bill?
A.
Paul?
A.
Randy?
A.
Whereas the subdivider A has or B has not obtained the required approvals from Stearns County and MnDOT. Chair votes A. Josh? Bill?
A.
Paul?
A.
And Randy?
A.
Whereas all members of the public wishing to be heard on the approval of this preliminary plat had an opportunity to present their views to the planning board. And those were A, no objections, or B, objections. Chair votes A. Josh?
A.
Bill?
A.
Paul?
A.
Randy?
A.
Whereas the planning board recommended A, no changes to the plat, or B, making the following changes. Chair votes A. Josh?
A.
Bill?
A.
Paul?
A.
Randy?
A.
Based on the foregoing and all matters of record and requirements of Chapter 30 of the City Code in the City of Painesville, Planning Board makes the following recommendation. It recommends to the City Council, A, approve the preliminary plat for Painesville Solar Farm Plat 1, or B, approve the preliminary plat of Painesville Solar Farm 1 with modifications, or C, deny approval of the preliminary plat of Painesville Solar Farm 1 for the following reasons. Chair votes C. Josh? A, B, or C?
A.
Bill?
A.
Paul?
A.
And Randy?
A.
It is to approve, and then I believe that formal motion that would be in order as well for recommending to council.
I would make a motion to approve the report and recommendation of Planning Board on application for approval of preliminary plat of Painesville Solar Farm Plat 1, and recommend such to the City Council.
And I second it.
We got a motion from Bill to approve the report and recommendation and recommend to council. A second from Randy. The only discussion I have is we've heard this going forward. Might be the only one voting in against of this, but it's, to me, it's not what the public necessarily wanted with that land that's there. Don't need additional solar farms, especially when our neighboring communities don't have or have moratoriums set up, like the city or the Zion Township, as well as Painesville Township. But I just would be saying that I'm gonna be voting no. Like again, I might be the only one, but city already has their mind made up, it sounds like, so.
What is it?
Making that.
What does the residents want out there? You mentioned that that's not what the residents want. What do the residents want?
Well, it sounds like this in particular isn't something that they would like to see based on the public hearings we've had in the past.
No, but I'm asking a more specific question. Is that we got that piece of area, and that if the residents want something different, what is it that they want?
Well, that could be with anything else. Nobody has a perfect answer right away, so I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
But
Just
with-
curious.
Yeah, but with this recommendation, that's.
Okay.
I guess there's no defined answer, but definitely
Okay.
not something that is viewed. So we got a motion and a second on the floor. Now goes to call the order for voting. All those in favor of the motion say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Motion passes for approval. 4-1.
Thank you for your input. Nice to have you here.
And then there's no other items on the agenda, so meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Have a blessed day, everyone.